Welcome to another Fountain Pen Day review. Today's review is going to be of the Omas 360 Vision. This is a bronze demonstrator version. It is made out of cotton resin from Omas. Very pretty pen, large pen, really well built, and a unique shape to go along with everything else. I'll start with the cap on this. Try and keep you up close. There we go. This was made in this version 2003. You can see there's a slight brassing on this clip. Great clip, by the way. It does. I've only had this in the house, but it slides right in and out of a shirt pocket really easily. It does hold pretty well, and being a light pen, it doesn't slide out as easily as I thought it would. You can see the inner workings of how the clip is actually in the resin, and there's a screw down in there. I haven't tried unscrewing it. I haven't messed with this pen too much, being that it's fairly expensive. The only thing I did have done was I had the nib worked on by Greg Manuskin. As with all demonstrators, you can see inside the cap you can see some ink. I just didn't take the time to use a Q-tip to get that out, but that will come out. I don't know if the inner sleeve that you can see comes out also. I'm sure if you look it up online, I have not yet, but you can find out. I'm sure someone's figured out how to take that out so that you can hermetically clean it. But otherwise, great clip design. It does hold, like I said, it does hold firmly. Nice band work. This follows suit throughout the whole pen. Very nicely done. What's nice also is some of the pens I've seen out there, this inner piece here, which is what helps seal it, so that when you do cap your pen, when you do cap it, you'll see how it's meeting up, and it actually helps seal it in there so that your pen doesn't dry out. So for the cap, that's it. Just wanted to get you up close with this so you could see the workmanship in it really nicely. I mean, beautifully finished, and again, it should be. These are not inexpensive pens. We'll start with the nib. Get you back in focus. It is an 18 karat gold nib. And again, the band here follows the same design as the cap. You can see it with the nice bright lights. You can see there's some dried ink. It's blue, which I haven't put in here, so that was from the previous owner. Also, at one point, somebody tried to remove the nib incorrectly. Just an FYI for these. I need something to point with. Sorry. Okay. You can see here and over here, it's a little tiny bit chewed up. There were notches, and it's done much like Mont Blanc is, where that could be a tool goes in and unscrews it, and it takes the entire piece out right in here. But to remove this nib and feed, so people know, it actually works where after soaking it in really warm water for a while, not scalding hot water, but just really warm water, the nib comes off first, then the feed will slide out, and then you can access and really clean inside of this. Now, I'm not going to do that today. Sometimes I do, simply because I had Greg, like I said, work on this nib and adjust it exactly how I would like it to be, so that it's wet and the tines are aligned perfectly. And he also worked on the feed just a tad. So, but that is for those who want to know how you take it out. This is not a screw out mechanism that's here. It's not one unit, it is two. It's a simple pull out, but you're going to pull the nib out first, and then the feed will come out after. Kind of an unusual thing. The other thing is that because it's this triangular shape, so that you can hold the pen like this, and it is comfortable, depending on the angle you hold it at, the degree that you hold it at when you write, or and the way you hold it in your hand, because everyone is an individual. Sorry, I'm getting lengthy. The bottom line is, if you look directly down, and I keep this in its exact triangular shape, you'll notice that the nib is actually turned counterclockwise, maybe 10 degrees off. And that's because when I hold it, and it's just my writing style, I tend to hold it a little bit off. So by keeping it like that, I can have it comfortable in my hand, and the nib rests exactly how it should on the paper. Long story short. Alright, so it is a piston filler. From here, it simply turns, and you can see the piston move inside. Very nice. When I fill it, you'll see that you can see the ink inside clearly. It does hold a decent amount of ink. I'm not sure exactly how much ink. I never measured it. But again, the fit and finish is beautiful on this. You can see the coloring in it. That's why they call it a bronze demonstrator. They do make one that's perfectly clear. Also with this piston filler, because when you turn it all the way down so that the piston is engaged to take the ink in, when you do bring it all the way back up, it's nice that, I mean, it lines up absolutely perfectly on all three corners. Really nice. Beautiful pen, unusual shape. You do need to get a little bit used to it because it's, you know, the only thing I found is that, you know, when I write, I rest the pen right here on the inside of my finger, and your skin is very sensitive there, you know, unless you're heavily calloused. And you can see my hands are kind of beat up, so I do work with them. But either way, my point is, I do feel the pattern that's there. Sometimes when I'm writing, I'll actually feel it not embed into my fingers, but it'll get annoying after a while. Because when I start writing with this, I'll hold it a little bit higher, and then slowly I do the creep, and I bring my fingers closer and closer. But otherwise, that's it. All right, long enough. It's also a click, and it holds nicely. If it comes off, it clicks right on. It's very nice, beautiful pen. All right, enough. We'll come back. I'm just going to weigh it very quickly. I'm going to ink it, and we're going to do a nice writing sample with it. I'll compare it to a couple of other pens. I'll grab something so that I give everybody an idea of just how big this pen is. Okay, we're back. Let's just weigh it out really quick. Total weight on this, 26.4 grams. Cap alone, 10 grams. And the pen alone is, and again, uninked, is 16.3, 16.4. It wants to weigh in close to. But and this pen I use unposted, simply because I have a big hand, and it does hold really well. You can post it, and it will stay, but it's a little, even though it's only 10 grams for the cap, it's a little top heavy, and for me, where it rests, this part of the cap, it keeps, every time I move my hand, the edge of the cap catches, so it becomes annoying, and it's not necessary. I mean, the pen is very comfortable to hold as it is. For a comparison, I brought out a common pen, TWSBI 580. And the Mont Blanc 146. Shorter. It's also a thinner pen, but just to give you, a little bit of comparison there. Nib comparison. You can see between the Mont Blanc and the Omas. I mean, these are comparable brands. Focus. Sorry about that. Beautiful. Both of these are, this is a Mont Blanc, 146 is actually an 18 karat. You can see the shoulders are a little bit wider on the Mont Blanc, but they're both size 6, I believe, 5 or 6. So, in any case, just wanted to give you an idea of the size of this pen. We'll ink it up with some Ackerman. I just got a new shipment in. This one's the Vision Bronze. I know I didn't pronounce it right. I'm sorry. Like I said, one day I will learn how to pronounce all those names. But this ink is beautiful. Okay, standard piston. Focus, focus, focus. Okay, piston down. Again, up over the gold band so that you know you're in. I'm just gonna do this once. If you want a better fill, you can. Actually, I got a really good fill on that. But you know, you just go back down and come back up one more time, and you will get an excellent fill. But I got a good one the first time. Cap your ink before you move on. You don't want to mess. Move everything over. I'm going to move the camera, so I'm going to jiggle this for a second, and I'll get you guys down up close and personal. Today I'm going to use Clairefontaine. It's a little bit of a glassy paper, so I'm going to see how this goes. This pen does not skip at all, so if it skips while we're writing or doesn't like it, then I'll bring something else out. Because I want to be fair to the pen. Like I said, this Clairefontaine is a little bit glassy, so sometimes, and some ink combinations, and I haven't used this ink combination with this pen yet, so I don't know how it's going to take to it. So, I'm going to make sure I've got you guys up close and in focus. Sorry, give me 1 second. Alright. Sure we got some good light down here. And, alright. This is a medium nib, by the way, and it does have some flex to it. But let's just get some regular writing in. And this is some really beautiful, beautiful ink. Excellent shading qualities. If you have a wet pen, if a pen is kind of dry, it doesn't show up as much. But the wetter the pen, the more it shows. I don't have the flattest surface under this either, so it's kind of wobbling around. Alright, give me some lines that you can just see. And this pen likes this paper. A little bit of flex. I'm not really pushing much, but you can see it's got a nice vintage look to it. And it's going to dry fairly quickly because these lights that I'm on are hot. But this is, I had Greg set this wet, and you can see, without me even touching it, that it's coming out wet. And like I said, this is drying quicker than it normally would be because it's under some hot lights. Very smooth nib. Again, you can get line variation if you want it. And if you don't, just no pressure and it'll write. I mean, this is a very comfortable pen, everyday writer. Like I said, the only thing is right here. Sometimes after a long writing session, it'll start to wear on me a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys where you can see what I'm doing. Super smooth. See, it's a little glassy right here. And you know what? I think it's because I got grease from my hand on there. So, you get the point, though. I mean, this is really nice. Pretty ink. You can see when I want that line variation, it flows well, and there's plenty there. 18 karat gold nib, you can't go wrong. Certainly with Omas. The build quality again is just outstanding. Beautiful pen, writes fantastic. No complaints. I lost the cap. Here we go. You know, the cap going on is really nice. I mean, and just remembering that it's a demonstrator. So when you see these close-ups and you see these tiny little like ink that's in here that's just there. It's just a Q-tip, you wipe it and it's done. Cleaning this is easy. It's a standard piston filler. It's in and out of the clean water. Change your ink, it's fine. Again, the only thing that I wouldn't do, and it's not a problem really, is the nib and feet on this one. You know, it's a very tight fit. You want to know what you're doing. If you don't, you may pull this nib out and bend the tines, or do something where you have to send it out to a nib master. But anyways, that's it. Beautiful pen. Writes fantastic. No complaints whatsoever. And remember, this November 1st, this year, is Fountain Pen Day. November. Look at how sloppy that is. I started doing the letter writing back and forth, the ink row. So hopefully this will improve over time. So November 1st this year, and you can celebrate Fountain Pen Day with us.